Hi everybody, and welcome to a new session. In the last session, we talked about how to perform the if function and when to use the if function. In today's session, we're going to be talking about how to split. I have a set of data including first name, last name, email address, all jam-packed into one cell. Now we know for sure that we cannot make any meaningful decision from this data, or we cannot read this data into any meaningful outcome. So in order for us to use the data properly or meaningfully, we need to be able to split them into the respective block cells or column for each data set. For example, first name has to be on its own under first name, so we can query the data when we want to use it for future purpose. Last name and email address also has to be independent. But then the traditional way of doing this would be you trying to type out these things independently, typing out the first name, typing out the last name, and then typing out all the email address, which sort of takes your time. We can reduce that time using Excel to make it easier for us. Now let's jump into it and let me show you how to do it. So in order to split this data into meaningful information or meaningful data, here's what you need to do. You just need to select everything from John to Lisa. After selecting everything from John to Lisa, you want to add the the data tab. If you look up here, the tabs here, you see file home, insert, draw, payout, formulas, data. When you select the data tab rather, you go to text to column up here. You click on text to column and there will be a pop-up. On that pop-up, you see delimited and fixed width. Don't select fixed width, select only delimited, and then you click next. Now, for all of the options that are here, the only thing that you make sure is checked. The box that needs to be checked here is the comma box. Do not check any other box. If any other box is checked before you go here, make sure that they are unchecked, and the only thing that is checked here is comma. The reason why you want to check the comma is because you're telling Excel that the only separating mechanism for deciding which of the data should go into which column is the comma. So after Mary, there's a comma before Johnson, before the email address. So the first comma sort of like tells Excel that everything that comes after the first comma is supposed to go into last name and then email address. So you click next after selecting just comma, you click next, and then here you also click only general. You click only general. Do not click anything else here. Don't select any of these boxes here apart from general. After selecting general, in the destination to input the result, you want to make sure that your destination reflects the first cell under your table, under your new table. Now the first cell is supposed to be the cell here, which is the first cell under first name. Remember that you want to write the destination of this first cell under first name. This cell is E5. Now how do you type this out? The expression is quite simple. You need to use the dollar sign, the E. So here is supposed to be E. Remember the cell is E5. The dollar sign again and 5 because this cell is E5. So when you've typed out the cell dollar sign E, dollar sign 5, you click finish, and Excel arranges everything in order for you. First name selected from this data set down to the end, last name also selected from this data set down to the end, and email address also selected from this data set down to the end. Now what this has done for you is you've been able to clean the data without any headache or without having to type it out independently. In the adjoining cell here, I want to type out, let me create some space so we see what we're doing properly. Okay, in this cell, I want to type first name for reference purpose. In this cell, I'm going to type out last name. Let me just fill that in so we see the difference very clearly. First name, last name for reference purpose. Now I want to have the first name from this email address reflected here, and I also want to have the last name from this email address reflected here. How do I do that, right? So here's what I'm going to do. So in the cells under first name, type the first name that are in the email column. So under this first name, the first name that is here is John. So I'm going to type John here. I'm going to type John. So when I type John, I'm going to also type the second name here, Mary. Now this is a flash field, right? So immediately I started typing Mary, you see that under here, David, Sarah, Michael, Linda, James, and Patricia sort of flash filled into the cell because I'm using what is known as flash fill. So I click enter and everything sort of automatically flash filled into this cell. That's a different way of doing this, right? So I've been able to select only first name from the names that appear in this email address. If you look at it very well, from John to Lisa is what I have here. I'm done with first name by using automatic flash fill. Now what if the Excel I'm using does not have automatic flash fill and I need to use manual flash fill? So I'm done with first name. I want to also input the last name here from this email address. So when I type Doe here, the first name is John Doe. So I type Doe here. I go to fill, home, right? When you go home, you should be able to go to fill. When I go to home, so here, so I have to select the column or the cell under that to be able to activate the flash fill option. So I go to fill, I go to flash fill, and everything that follows under Doe sort of appears in that column because after Doe is Johnson, Smith, Brown, and Williams. So this is this for splitting data into respective cell. This is an unclean data. This is a generated data that is cleaner. The first one I had on my screen was a data set that had first name, last name, and email address all compressed into one cell under one column. Now, if you have any question on this or anything related to Excel, leave a comment and I'll definitely get back to you. See you on the next one.